and this freaking ghost bird flies through the room and lands on my microphone.
Hey everybody, this is Monsters Lounge, and I'm Jeni.
And I'm Tressa.
We might be a little bit frazzled starting off because we were having technical difficulties.
We
I
sure
wasn't
were,
because I don't
Jeni.
understand it, but
I am confused, and also,
and also that. Listen, Tressa, the first thing that I do want to mention is that we have something coming up in September, which is very exciting. We're
right.
we're going to be at the Great Lakes Paracon, which is Great Lakes Paranormal Paracon or just Great Lakes Paracon?
That would be Great Lakes Paranormal Convention.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's I'm having technical difficulties. Anyway, so it's going to be awesome. September 12th through the 14th in Glenbeulah, and they are having a really good deal going on right now. Get one ticket and get the other for half off. So please visit their Facebook page and you can take advantage of that deal. We'll be there. It'll be fun.
We always have a good time there. It's a good time.
There. It is a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good time. Justin, do you have anything before I start talking about our guest?
Oh boy.
Any TikToks? Anything?
Nothing related to this show. No, I'm a little frazzled.
There's something about not actually being sure if you're going to be able to go live or not, or record an episode or anything about until about 3 minutes ago. Listen.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I am also frazzled.
Oh, how terrible for you that you had to deal with not knowing what was going on with me because I was muted because my microphone kept getting knocked off the stream. It must have been terrifying. I mean, yeah.
Listen, I thought it was just going to be me and our guest, and I was like, this is not going to go well.
I would have enjoyed it.
Because you know why?
Nope. Because our guest tonight is so entertaining, so fun, and so amazing.
She's serious.
Why don't you tell us about her?
I will. Sarah Lemos is our guest tonight, you guys. We're so thrilled. We never thought that she would want to come on the show, and she did. And she's going to be here in a second. Anyway, she is a psychic medium. She's a paranormal investigator and a metaphysical educator. She lives in Oregon, and she is known for her work on Ghosts of Morgan City, Portals to Hell, and the Osbournes' Night of Terror. She helps people connect with loved ones, navigate paranormal experience, and develop their intuitive gifts, which I'm super excited about. She teaches worldwide. And everybody that we have ever met who has worked with her has absolutely adored her. So please help me welcome Sarah.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I've been wanting to be on the show forever, just so you know. I was really jealous that when we were at the Bigfoot Festival, I was like, well, what about me? What about me?
Oh my God, I was so scared of you. Listen, there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, I'm there are some of my best friends in the whole wide world, but there are occasions where I am just insanely intimidated by intelligent, funny, warm women. I'm like, and then on top of that, you're the psychic medium. So immediately I think that you are going to see into the depths of my soul and just be like, oh, she's not good.
Yeah, that's a thing Jeni has. She cannot be near mediums. Her head will explode. She doesn't.
It's so bad. Every single. Every single medium I've ever met, that's like the second or third thing I say. Like, please don't judge me from what you can see.
Why don't they just give you a high five?
Right?
Just saying. Just saying.
I don't know. But I'm excited to learn all about it because I'm also incredibly fascinated, right? And so everybody that I have met has had gifts from when they were very, very young, which from what I can gather is the same way with you as well. Did you grow up in like a household that was welcoming to that, or was it something that you tucked away for a while?
At first, I didn't. I grew up in the early 80s, and so there was stranger danger. And I know I tell this story way too much, but honestly, I was taught not to talk to strangers. So my first experiences are much different than other people's because I had rules already placed in front of me. So I wouldn't talk to them because they were not family, they were not friends, and they didn't know the secret word. And so I didn't talk to them. So at first it was very difficult because it was just, I finally told my grandma about, a situation where this one spirit would come and sit with me, and it kind of fell apart. And so it was like, people were looking at me like, why are you lying? And, we don't tell lies, that we don't lie in this family. And for me, it wasn't lying. For me, this is what I was seeing. This is what I was experiencing. I couldn't tell you much because I didn't talk to them, but I could, at 5 or 6 tell you that what they looked like and things like that. And I think mom tried. I think mom knew very early that there was something very different about me. She said that I would go into these fits in the back of the car when I wasn't able to communicate, but I was communicating in different languages. Like I would speak in French, and she was like, wait, I know French. And she would listen, and I would go into these kind of tantrums, and all she could do was like pull over and hold me while I spoke in different languages. And she couldn't explain it. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know where to put me. So, she did her best to explain what was happening and be there for me. But I think, I know she's also gifted. And so I think she was really nervous or unsure on what to say or do.
Wow.
That I don't know that I've ever heard of like children speaking another. Was it okay? Here's the thing with toddlers.
Yeah.
One of the big problems, like the temper tantrums, the terrible twos, one of the biggest issues there is they can't communicate and they're so frustrated about it. So they like have tantrums. When you were speaking other languages as a child, was it that you were only able to communicate in other languages and you couldn't figure out which one to choose? Or I'm so fascinated by this.
Well, she said it would start with me getting upset or frustrated, and then she'd be driving. And so then I would start talking, and she said, like, at first she thought it was garble, but then I hit a language she knew that she took a little bit of in high school or something. And she was like, that's French. And then I just would do this thing, and she'd hold me, and then I would stop. I would just stop. It would just go away, she says. And these are her accounts, and she was pretty nervous as a mom, like, what do I do here? And how do I console?
Yeah. What? Do you have siblings?
I have a lot of different siblings from a lot of different parents, but yes, I do have some siblings. Yeah, I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers.
Are you like middle child, oldest, youngest?
On the girls' side, I'm one of the middles. On the boys' side, I am one of the olders.
So your mom, she had experiences with kids. Like she wasn't completely oblivious.
No. She had raised my brother. At this time, my brother was 12 years old. And again, she didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
And having her own little experiences throughout her own timeline, I don't know she knew what she experienced, but how does she explain it to me?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did any of your brothers or sisters have any kind of a gift or sensitivity?
Yeah, my brother Sean, who is my mother's, Yes. So both the children from my mom are gifted and sensitives. Yes. And I see it in all my other siblings. I don't think they would call it out. I've been able to talk to one kind of more in depth than she's shared. But I would say, yeah, it was more me and my brother, Sean.
I'm imagining right now like a dream team sort of scenario of just you guys all coming up with some sort of psychic team. Psychic. Yeah, exactly.
Crime fighters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I just want everybody to have some sort of crime fighting experience. It's totally fine and normal.
You just like capes.
I want to do that.
Valid point. I love capes and fascinators. Anyway, so you have been involved, like we kind of read off some of the TV shows and whatnot, in some pretty, what would be scary places to me, right? Can you tell us about the experience of starting to go on to some of these investigations and how does that feel? Are you so used to it by now that it's not at all disturbing? Or do you walk into a place and you're like, no, thank you?
Yeah, it really depends. You know, my first experience was with Ghosts of Morgan City, right? And so that's the first time that I worked with a team in a location as a psychic medium. I had worked by just doing a psychic sweep for other teams, but you just pass on the information, you leave, and that's it. I wasn't a part of the investigation. I was only part of the psychic sweep part. Well, in Ghost Town Terror, Ghost of Morgan City, that changed. And I was actually a part of a team. And it was an amazing experience. I always felt like I had somebody there. But when we experienced the full body apparition in Idlewild, the first thing they did was say, Sarah, get in there. And so, yeah, it's this moment where it's like, I'm hungry. Like, I want to know what's going down. But I'm a human and I don't want to go inside and see the scaries. Like, I'm a human. I'm just Sarah. So then that kind of shifted and changed. You know, I got to go to some of these other places, right? So then I started with Portals to Hell and got to really go to some interesting places like the Shanghai Tunnels in Portland, Oregon. These different places where you are engulfed, you are immersed in energy and suffering or pain or just not the great stuff. It's not a this feels good kind of place.
Yeah. What does it appear like for you? Like, and I ask everybody, and it's always going to sound very disjointed whenever I ask this question, but you know, some people have reported that they sort of see pictures. Some people actually hear voices. Some people just get like, who were we talking to a couple weeks ago that actually saw the person when they were speaking to them, like the past spirit or whatever. What is that like for you? Do you see it? Do you more so hear it? Is it a feeling, pictures?
So for me, I'm very much a feeler. I'm an empath. I'm someone who experiences emotions through their physical body. Or if someone died of a heart attack or was shot, I can tell you where because I experienced the bullet going through me. And so for me, I know what a heart attack is now. I've learned a lot of different medical. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but I've learned like, oh, that is a this or a stroke versus a blood clot. I know that sounds crazy, but to do what I do, I have to really have these markers to tell me what the heck this is and what happened. So first of all, it's always physical. So that's not always great because the very first thing I feel is the death. But it is also the best way to prove what I'm saying. No one dies the same. So it's like if I can nail the death, then I can tell you how this person crossed, or I tell you characteristics because I am an evidential medium through my feelings, then you can accept the message. You wouldn't be able to accept the message if you don't believe I connected to your loved ones, right? But I also see. And I see in a way with my physical eyes. I actually see what would look like a halo around a physical body that walks through the wall. Now, depending on what I need, they can come through more physical, but most of the time that's too much energy for them to expend. So we talk more with telepathy. And so I'll see things, I'll have movies, I'll have experiences, and then I can share that with you. So seeing, and then normally feeling, and then lastly would be hearing. So every once in a while I'll hear a name, and I go with it. Because if I actually get to hear, it means pay the freaking attention, because I don't usually hear. So that's kind of how I work as a medium.
That's got to be extraordinarily, that takes it to a whole new level, walking into some of these places that you've been with just so much tragedy associated with it. You know, like, that's wild. Like, would you walk into some place and feel every single spirit's? Oh, wow.
But that's my job, right? So I feel like, it's rough. It's rough. Like when I remember doing, we were at a home, and there was this soldier, and I wasn't going fast enough, because it's really hard to be a psychic medium on television. Believe it or not, you have to wait, you have to hold, you can't just blabber on. Like, I love to blabber on and just, but you have to wait. You have to wait your turn. There's turns and things like that. You have to be. So here I am holding my breath. And so this soldier kicks me in the knee. He's like, I said my knee hurts, and my knee gave out. Like, my knee, like, I was like, whoa. Like, we'll get there, but it's not my turn, And so sometimes it actually will get physical. Yeah.
It's rude.
Right?
Yeah. But,
buddy.
It makes me listen. So I guess it works.
Yes, so.
Don't say that out loud. Now everyone's going to be kicking you in the shins.
What a terrible, terrible thought.
How do you, okay.
Listen, you can't do any worse than me. So
no, I trust. How do you trust yourself? How do you know that this is something other than what your own body's reaction to something, or some outside force that isn't what you're there for?
Well, for a long time, I didn't. My story is, I came into this and really didn't have much at the time to learn from. And so what was the question, Tressa? Because I went north and I should have gone south. What was the question?
How do you trust what you're feeling or seeing?
So I didn't know if it was me or them. And so I got really sick. And I got really sick. My blood pressure was 80/60. They didn't know what was wrong with me. I would pass out all the time. And then I gave my first reading. And after my first reading, my blood pressure went back up to normal. Now you tell me why. So for me, I do feel like I had to trust. I had to. It wasn't like, hey, let's try this out. Let's see if it works. It was like, we're going to trust the information that comes through, because it wasn't mine. Like, that was so clear. I'm like, this, after a while, I'm like, oh, no, I haven't had 2 heart attacks this week. Like, we're good. But I was sitting next to my ex-husband, and he went to get a Tylenol. We went to get up at the same time. And I go, where are you going? He goes, I have a headache. I'm getting a Tylenol. And my headache went away. And I looked at him and I went, oh, it's been you who's had the headache. So I had been medicating myself for headaches I wasn't even freaking having. Again, not a doctor, don't play one on TV, but you have to trust in order for the story to be told, right? So I think over time it was just, wait a second, I better write this down. Wait a second, what does this feeling mean? And is it me? Or looking around the room, I would literally see if someone was holding their stomach, or if someone was like holding their ear or itching their ear. And I'm like, oh, that's why. So I started going, okay, I can see it. And I started just, I guess, looking for proof, right? Like, I needed proof I was doing this. And then I think it was the first time where I was like, I dealt with a case where someone was shot, and it was like, I went, oh, the first bullet went through here. And they were like, how did you know that? And it was like, I trusted I shared the story. I didn't hold it in, you know, and there have been many times, guys, that I didn't want to say what I got. I did not want to say, I was like, but I had to trust and I had to give it. And when I did, the payoff, oh my gosh, you guys, the payoff is beautiful. But if you don't trust and you get in your ego, you might get too scared to share. You might not say what you're seeing because how the hell was I seeing Santa Claus? And was I really giving a reading to Santa Claus? And yeah, I was. I was giving a reading to Santa Claus. Her granddad had played Santa Claus for 23 years at Dornbecker's Children's Hospital. And if I wouldn't have had to say that, her reading would have been meh. Yeah. Like it would have been nothing. So I had to just say it. And then I learned, oh, the payoff's beautiful. Trust it and say it.
That's great.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah. I was going to ask you earlier, like what the beautiful meant, but I get that now.
Wait, did you see what the beautiful meant?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I think I have your answer.
Those of you naysayers, I want you to know how much I appreciate how many of you grabbed a hold of my small package after last week's show. It is out and available. You can get both of my books, The Other Side, A Guide to the Paranormal and Ghost Hunting, and my brand new book, Theater of the Mind, Tales from the Darkness. Both books are out. One, of course, kind of a how-to ghost hunt book, and the other story book of strange supernatural occurrences all around the world. You can get your hand on my small package by just ordering it right off of my website. You can go right to paranormal60.com, scroll down on the front page there, or go to the shop and scroll down and you'll see our book bundle. And I was so humbled by the fact of how many men put their hands on my small package at the end of last week's show and bought it. It was great. It made me feel loved and wanted. I'm not going to lie.
Queen of segues.
That was amazing. Amazing.
What were we even talking about? I mean,
beauty.
That's right. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So when your question that's coming out of not talking about ghosts, kind of, but talking about ghosts anymore. So when you're walking around some of these conferences and things, like how do you just get bombarded with stuff?
Everybody's crap.
Yeah. So you'll notice like there'll be swings. You'll notice my energy is really, really high. And then you'll notice I deaden it. Like I'm like stoic and then I'm up again. And that's because running that same energy or sitting in other people's energy, because if they touch me, it's really strong. So when you bump me in an airplane, don't bump me in an airplane unless you want me to know it all. But so yeah, it's overwhelming as a human. As a sensitive, it's overwhelming because I'm feeling, seeing, hearing, and knowing constantly. And then you have to remember there's spirits there that also have a story that wants to be told. Or the building itself is very active. The building, not the spirits in the building, but the building itself has a story. Right. So it's a lot of voices. And I'm not afraid to say that. That's a lot of information and that's a lot of stuff coming at one person, I think.
Oh, yeah, like half of it would be a lot coming at one person. Are you able to shut it down, or to put screens up or filters, anything like that?
Yeah, I would love to say that it took many years to get to a point where it just doesn't affect me. It's still happening. It just doesn't affect me as great. Okay. So like it still happens and I can't necessarily shut it all the way down. Yeah, I can't. So I've listened to every damn cover this, blow the bubble, do the thing. And to me, it just doesn't work. But also I think, I was raised in a different time and the skill set that I have wasn't about shielding. It was never about shielding. Okay. So Not really. If I go to the movies, everybody's thinking about the same thing. So it's awesome. They may be they almost always swing the same emotions. So that's really easy for me. It's like taking a boat ride. But like, it's just different where different energy is, I guess.
Yeah, that's wild to me. And it's something that I hadn't really, really considered, just the sheer amount of people. Listen, we were at one of our very first conferences, and I made the mistake of, I thought it was hilarious to put out a sign that said, $1 advice, and then cross out the dollar and say free, like the Snoopy, like,
yes,
right. I thought it was funny. But people took me seriously, and
They sure did.
And there was a lot, and that was one person. And I went, we're not doing this again. So I can't, it's mind blowing to me that that's coming at you at all times. I'm also never going to hug you, just to keep what's in my brain.
Wait till I
away
knock
from
you down and grab you next time I see you.
You'll know everything.
Everything out of you.
Oh boy. I wanted to know about so much. So we're kind of switching over into gears of like mentoring, right? That's what you do a lot. You train people to sort of use their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
So early on, I felt really alone. I was seeing dead people, and I really didn't know anybody to talk to. I didn't know who you reached out to. And when I did, I was told basically, you'll steal my clientele. So no, I'm not helping you. Which my reply was, ma'am, I'm seeing dead people walk through the wall. I just need to know if I should go to the hospital. Like, is this something? I have 2 children. I need to know if I'm okay, if I'm safe. This is really scary. And though I'd had experiences my whole childhood and everything, you can't prepare for this. It was a crack, And I had some good friends that owned a store, and they helped me as best they could. They really did. I learned about chakras and these type of things. But ultimately I had to find my own way. And so what I promised myself was nobody else was going to be there. I'm like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out there, and I'm going to help the community never feel that again, to never feel that shame or feel scared of who they are. That's not a place to be. And so I was like, I'll do my very best. And so 14, 16, I don't know how many years now, started just opened myself up to everything that I could study and learn. And then started realizing I think it was when COVID hit, it was my guides were like, this has to be where everyone can get to it. And I'm like, I have a 3rd grade education. What do you mean everyone? And how am I supposed to do this? I can't do this on my own. And it was, yes, you will. And this is how it's going to go. And so we created Pathways to Spirit. And that pathway is your pathway. It's not mine. My job is to teach you everything I can so that you can create your own modality, your own way. But the honest to God truth is, if you don't know who you are, nobody can get you there. You have to know who you are, the way you see the world, the way you feel the world. You have to understand that your brain works a certain way and you get knowings a certain way. And so people will seem to experience they change during the class. And it's not just because they're working with their own gifts and senses and can bend a spoon, maybe. Just kidding. I've never done that. But maybe that's the next thing I'll teach. But it's the opportunity to connect and grow yourself in a space that is safe, because that's number one for me. Like I said, it's about being who you are, wherever you're at. And I'm just here to support and show you the way. I'm no guru. I'm just here to hold your hand while you make some pretty big steps towards self.
How important are the tools, all the things you teach in Pathway to Spirit, the oracle cards, but all the things?
I think that's confidence, right? So really, I don't use oracle cards for me. I don't. I use it for you, because you wouldn't understand what I'm getting. It wouldn't work in your brain. If I don't show you how I'm getting it, you aren't going to get it. So these tools are great for me. I'm just going to say that you may never heard that, but it's very true. So this is me explaining what I'm getting to you in a way that you can go, oh yeah, I see the ear. Yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. It damn well does not make sense. But this is a way to share that. And tools are a way for you to take the next step. So I teach you about your own gifts and connections and knowing, seeing, feeling, hearing. But how do we use that? So we can use that with dowsing tools, dowsing rods, body pendulums, oracle cards, even feng shui, where we learn to work with energy.
That's fascinating. I have so many questions about the tools, but I love that, and I hadn't thought about it before, is that these classes, because every basis of every self-help program, any sort of advancement program where you're exploring or expanding yourself, starts with that basic line of figuring out who and what you are, and then relating it to other things. And I don't think I had thought about sort of the, psychic mediumship classes as a way into that, but it makes complete sense.
Yeah, it's because it is it, right? It's because it is it. But like if I said to you right now, what did you have for lunch? Right? And you're like, okay, it was a tuna fish sandwich. Did you taste it? Did you experience like if you had a sandwich, did you experience the sandwich? If you had chips, did you actually eat them? Like, did you taste them? Or were you driving and working and doing while consuming food and you didn't even taste the food? And maybe you can't even remember what you had for lunch. So right. If I awaken you to your senses, you're going to remember that sandwich. And so I can also take a screenshot of thought or a premonition or telepathy. And as long as I work with those same skill sets, I can help you connect to the other side. I can help you really allow yourself to connect to all the things that you have been wanting for or needing to hear through self versus an external. So using these kind of tools also helps self in that too.
That makes sense. Like teaching aids, you don't actually need the aid to do it. You're just learning how to spot it via aids. Okay. I'm just thinking
like
this
training wheels. Yeah,
like training wheels. I like training wheels. I had them on my bike for a long time. Worked well. I don't know. It was a while. I don't know. I learned how to ride my bike as some kid was like, we're going to teach you how to ride your bike, and just pushed me. Yeah, I fell down a lot. Anyway, so I remember something that I was going to ask you. If you had something to ask of somebody before they signed up and started working with you, right? Like what would that thing be? What would you ask them to do? A certain mindset or a look in the mirror, something along before somebody even walks in the door to start working with you? Would there be something that would make it easier or?
No, because there's a test that I give right out of the gate. Is a test that looks at seeing, feeling, hearing, and knowing. It allows you to sit with truths that maybe you weren't willing to look at for a while, because maybe at 7 you could do this, and maybe at 14 it went away, and then at 20 you saw a ghost for the first time, whatever. So those experiences themselves, I can help you work with how you experienced it, and then grow that. So not really. No, I think what's important though is understanding why you might be attracted to this kind of stuff. If you're interested in, the paranormal and you don't know why, and then you like the woo-woo stuff a lot, and you're always over at that table, and you're always talking to the psychic mediums, and you've had so many readings, I think that actually is a telltale that you're attracted to it, because it is who you are and it is where you should be. So I think there's some telltale signs. Now, my job as a psychic medium, one of the things that I can do, I guess I should say, and I don't know why I can do it, is I can tell you what your gifts are by just looking at you. And and so it's a really weird thing. And I do it in audiences, and people love it because they're like, how did she know? There's no way she knew. But like for me, when I look at someone, I'm able to sense and feel kind of how they process the world around them. I guess maybe it's from helping a lot of people. I don't know, but I can see it. I can see it in you.
Yeah, there's something else though. There's some sort of special skill because just from working with people, you're not gonna.
Okay, so do us.
So Jen is a knower. Claire Cog, a knower, gets hit with lefts or rights, knows who's going to call, probably watches the same movie over and over again, likes repetition, likes name games, or would like smart TV. I don't do smart TV, but a lot of people like to learn, so they watch Shark. And so things like that. So knowers enjoy that because it keeps their brain busy, so they don't actually get hits. And hits for me are information coming through that would make you more alert. Like you found out that Bob at work was cheating, and how did that come through, right? So you keep movies going. You'll keep your brain very busy. You tend to stay up really late at night and think things through, thinking that you're actually this time going to figure it out. So that's like a knower, right? Jen, does that make sense at all with you?
It does. There has to be something
Jeni,
going on.
Jeni, don't let me call you Jen. Don't let me do that. My glasses are off.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Name's a name.
Not cool.
Yeah. Something has to be going on for my brain to focus on. Most of the time, I distract myself quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
I also think it's because you're a feeler. So you're a knower and a feeler. And so a knower and a feeler do a very special dance because your heart and your brain do not play well together.
No.
So you need to feel it all the way out, okay, hun? And then think it all the way out. But do not bounce the ideas off each other. You will never find an answer. You will never figure out if that's the one. None of that stuff. Just feel it out. Stop. Think it out and write it down so that these two cannot argue. These two cannot argue because you will figure it out. And then what happens is the heart goes, maybe this. And you go, oh, I'll Google that. And then all of a sudden you're having an emotional experience and now you can't be right anymore. So that's a knower and a feeler. And that's kind of sometimes what you experience. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, that makes a great deal of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, it's almost like you kind of feel naked after I do it. Sorry about that.
No, it's totally fine. This is why I hide in nature. This is why I go places that, this is.
Yep.
There's a reason why I like being in the ocean.
Amen.
It's very quiet.
Going back to mother. I love that. And Tressa, you couldn't be more of a feeler. You couldn't be a more feeler. And I mean, you are just from one inch to the other, feel. But also, I don't know why, but I feel, oops, I'm not going to read you. I also think that you're very much a seer. So I think, not that you're not clairaudient, hold on a second, but I really think that for your eyes, when you're in certain situations, fog, sun, snow, you're very sensitive. Your eyes are very, very sensitive. And so you'll be more protective of your eyes. Also seeing streaks or flashes sometimes. We always poo-poo it off, but I would suggest could be and also, Tressa, you see it anytime anyone's house is just like, if you walk in and one pillow, they changed it, or their TV screen is just a little off, you're going to notice it. Or when people paint, but they don't paint the wall right, where they just do that thing, you are going to notice that. Yep, I know it. So, and it's a beautiful, those ones work really well together because the feeling and seeing. Now, here's the thing. I also think you're clairaudient. I very much think you're clairaudient. Now, the being a feeler, you're going to sleep with a fan on. Okay. You need constant noise. If you don't have a constant noise, you're going to be processing spirit. You're going to be processing information. And again, that can happen through the ears or the eyes. But again, I'm thinking even if the wind blew differently or someone changed their emotion in the room, you're going to sense it. You may not get all spunky about it, but you're going to sense it.
She might get spunky about it.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Listen, my room is a garbage pit, but if I notice any tiny thing out of place anywhere else, I'm like,
Yep.
what is that person's problem?
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Do you notice when I sneak in and move stuff around?
No.
Just if I do it in my own home.
Yeah, listen, why did you move that giraffe figurine? That's weird. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to pick it up and you're going to notice it. I'm just saying. It's one of my amazing skills is telling people about their skills. I don't know.
Thank you for doing that for us. I don't know if you usually like charge for that.
Yeah.
But
That's super fun.
No, you guys, we're hanging. It's perfect. No,
yeah, we're just a bunch of ladies having a good time.
right.
How else you could have a good time?
Yeah.
Have you been feeling called to explore your intuitive gifts and deepen your spiritual practice? Then Pathways to Spirit was created for you. Sarah Lemos has been teaching Pathways to Spirit for over 16 years. In that time, she's watched hundreds of students grow into their gifts with confidence and clarity. This isn't just about learning tools. It's about understanding how your energy works and how to use it with intention. Over 6 months, you'll learn about your own intuitive abilities and how they show up, working with crystals, energy tools, dowsing rods, automatic writing, remote viewing, and a number of other tools. But this course is about more than just learning. It's about embracing your sensitivity and living your best life. Register now at mediumsarahlemos.com while there's still space. It's time to uncover your gifts and abilities. Are you ready to join this extraordinary journey?
I love that so much. My heart is so happy. I was
talking to Dave about it. I was like, you know what? I don't hate my voice. It has never bothered me. But in that commercial, my voice makes me crazy. So I'm going to record the audio for that to make it more me, I guess, because it feels weird. I don't know.
It doesn't sound like you usually sound, and I think that's because I
said, and I was like, yeah, I don't want that to sound like me.
But you sound so lovely all the time. Yeah, I heard it for the first time without seeing it, and I was like, "Oh, that's Tressa," but that's not Tressa.
Let's talk more about my work.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Tressa for the rest of the show. Yeah. I get it. You're a psychic. You're a medium. You're great. You're Sarah. But
listen, I made a commercial, so
yes, you did, honey. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Now, being out in Oregon, do you? And you could be anywhere for my next question. Do you ever retreat into nature? Like, I know you kind of nodded, like when I was talking about it a little bit, but. And how much do you think that everyone should? Because I fully support that.
That's a little bit guided there, but go ahead.
It's fine.
You know, I think it's really important for many, many different reasons. But as a psychic sensitive myself, that's when I noticed that it was quiet. Like everything quieted for me. And because I was so far away from other people, that there was just this quiet. And so for me, I always go back to Mother, because that's what it is to me. Is Mother Earth is my mother, and to go back to her and sit with her and sit in all that we've been gifted, right? From the mud to the dirt to salt, salt water, or all the things that we've been gifted to ground to be a part of, instead of seeing ourselves a part of. So I think it's a very important place to be. I think earthing and grounding is very important. The literature out about that is insane. When we started putting shoes on, what started happening to our physical bodies and our brains. And, we can get that by getting back out and just putting our feet in the grass for a few minutes, or laying in grass if you're okay with that, or laying your back against a tree, and those type of things. And I think it's interesting because so many people run to haunted houses to hear voices, and you can go to the forest and literally wrap your arms around a tree and hear a whole story. If you're willing to listen. So for me, you know, it's a very special place and it's very important to me. And I know I need it because you know, I have so many plants in my office. It's not funny. I can't turn my camera around. You guys would be embarrassed. It's like I'm in a forest.
That's
So
my
I have
house.
to have that.
Yeah, that's
My
Jenny's
house.
house too.
Yeah, I have to have that peace.
Mhm.
And I know when they need water. I can hear them yelling. Yes, so like I can feel their energy too. But it's much chiller than humans.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's like a nice quiet request.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, if you get around to it, I'd like some water.
That's right. Me next. Me next.
I was going to ask you about if you feel things out in nature, because, you know, I have zero of the ability to, you know, understand things whenever I walk into a building. But it feels right when I'm outside.
Mhm.
Like I can find my way pretty well. I can, you know, I wouldn't be able to survive them at all, but you know, like I do all right. It feels good, right? So
Yep.
you do have sort of those communications outside and in nature as well.
Yeah, not as much.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say it's as much, but
Oh, yeah.
it also takes more tuning in, right? So a tree and a human, yeah, it's going to work. I'm going to have to work more with the tree most of the time. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that there's a clarity outside. So maybe in the quiet, in the connection, I'm actually able just to hear better. And so I don't have to hear so much. So the message doesn't have to come through 9 times. It can come through once. But you know, it's definitely important. And I think people really, really need it right now. They need to get out. They need to breathe in the fresh air. They need to smell the plants. They need to remember that we come, you know, where we come from.
Counterpoint. And yucky outside.
What was that?
It's hot and yucky outside.
That's true. And there's bugs. There's bugs.
So many bugs, and some of them bite and make me itchy. And
Yeah.
I am afraid of being covered in yucky bites. And
Yeah.
And listen, let me tell you what happened the other day. I was late for work. I had an open coffee, and then I closed the door, and a cicada flew right into my hair. I freak out. There's now coffee all over me, head to toe. I don't.
No.
Nature doesn't like me very much.
Yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
dirty and sweaty and
Yeah. But did you look up what cicada means?
no, what?
Because so I would, when we get done here, just go give it a Google.
Okay.
Say cicada's spiritual message. And then I want you to read it. And then I want you to think why it hit you on the back of the head.
I mean,
There's a message there. I'm just saying. There's a message and they're getting physical.
You really wanted me to hear something because I didn't have anything clean to like dress into after that. Bro, I hear you now that you told me to look it up.
See? All the magic all the time.
Is anybody else replaying this idea of Tressa just getting winged in the back of the head with a cicada?
Oh, let me give you a quick side story of why that freaked me out so much. Aside from the fact that it was a giant bug flying in my hair. When I was in high school, let's pretend I'm not going to say this, but I was at a Grateful Dead show on acid, and it was June, and all of the June bugs in a 5-mile radius were flying into my hair. It was horrific.
Oh no.
I spent most of the night just grabbing and pulling June bugs out of my hair. So I have a bit of an issue
Yeah, I
with
can see
large, chunky bugs.
Yeah. I
just
respect
wanted to
that.
share that with you guys.
I respect it.
Thanks.
But they're still finding you to give you messages. So
I know. I
definitely
know.
Goog. Yep.
I'm really excited to Google this, so we
Yeah.
got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
No.
we gotta go. Tressa's got to do cicada work.
Do you have any fun stories that you can share that aren't, putting anyone on blast or anything, but about, reading someone or anything, or just like investigating. Come on, there's got to be something you can share without sharing. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm trying to think of a really good one. Nope, I don't want to do that one. Come on. There's so many. I feel so blessed to do what I do. Like, honestly, like I've had so many experiences where trust comes in, right? So I was giving a reading to a nice lady who lost her son, and she made it very clear that she came in for one answer and one answer only. And I said, yes, ma'am. But I gave her the 45 minutes. I gave her all I could about her son and his life and all the things that happened. And she said, okay, that all makes complete sense. That is my son. But here's the thing. I'll know if he's here if you give me the number he used on every jersey every year. And I said, okay. So I turned to him and I'm like, hey, what was your jersey number? And he said 316. And I said, bro, that's not a number on a jersey. And she's not going to believe that we had this conversation. Your mom's going to leave here thinking you didn't show up. And I can't have that. And he's like, 316. And I said, all right, babe. I looked at her. I said, I'm so sorry. Your son wants you to know 316. He says that is the number you need. That is the number he wants to give you. And she said, okay, thank you, Sarah. I'm sorry. And I said, no, I understand. 2 weeks later, I get a call of a woman just nodding and screaming in the phone. And she is like, Sarah, do you remember me? And I said, not sure, ma'am. And she said, I'm the one that had her son that crossed. I said, oh, yes, the football number, because that's what came to my head. And she goes, the number you gave us was the song that they sang at his funeral. And it is also the psalm that we read. So his message was to say thank you. Thank you for this message that you gave to everyone. Thank you for what you gifted me at my funeral. He could give two shoots about his football. Right. So sometimes it's understanding that, you may want to hear something from spirit, but also understand spirit's going to be them. They're going to talk about what they want to talk about with the time that they have. And so I think a lot of times my best stories are that. And then I will do one more because I know we're out of time. Please. I was on stage at the comedy club in Florida, and this freaking ghost bird flies through the room and lands on my microphone. And I go, no birds. He goes, yeah. Tell him I'm here. And I'm like, I have a very large cockatiel looking bird thing here. It's a male. And this woman sitting right there, right next to the microphone goes, oh, that's my dad's bird. He loved that bird. And so I had a conversation with the bird and them, and we were able to have a full on, he remembered memories. He shared memories about attacking this one guy, and it was really funny and it was wonderful. So sometimes, again, and then I've done ones for snakes. I've done readings for horses, and they bring proof. They know I need proof. I cannot prove to you. If I can't prove to you, again, you're not going to accept the message. Yeah. So, yeah. So there's a lot of fun ones. Birds, snakes, yeah, you name it.
So this goes beyond people for you. You can communicate with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Animals. I think they're called animals.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think animals are important, and I think a lot of times people, like the guy that I did read the snake for, he cried more about the stories that the snake said than his brother who came through. So it was like he needed to know that the snake was safe, that the snake ended up hurting itself, and he needed to know that the snake was okay. So yeah,
I get that because they can't communicate anything really while they're here. So to hear that.
So to me, animals are always communicating, and they tell on their people all the time.
Oh man.
Give us one.
So if you want good stuff, go to the dog, go to the cat. That's who you want to ask. What's mom doing? Oh, she's eating a lot of chocolate and she hasn't gotten off the damn couch for a week. And I don't know why she keeps going to the bathroom. That's what you're going to get from your dog. Yeah.
I love that so much. Keeping it real.
Does anyone want animals? Only slightly,
Large dog.
Kind of used.
Just a little bit used, because those guys are
Taylor's
spying
cat.
on me. I need them to not.
That explains Merlin so much. You know, he's like sneaking in, trying to get on my secrets. Get out of
He
my
is.
face.
Yeah, he really does enjoy your secrets in specific. He really he loves those. Merlin is the cat that is obsessed with Tressa right now. No, Tressa's room. To be fair, she keeps a lot of stuff in there.
Well, yeah, all my stuff. That's okay. Sarah, tell us where people can find you and about all the things that you'd like to offer them.
Oh, you can always find me at mediumsarahlemos.com. Most of my stuff is always there. I'm always on Facebook or on Instagram, and these places you can find me. But most of the time, if you're looking for classes, it will always be posted at mediumsarahlemos.com. I also have an online group that you might be interested in on Facebook. And if you go to groups and just put in Medium Sarah Lemos, our tribe that thrives, it's a great group of people all learning and striving and growing. And I have classes on mediumship, advanced mediumship, and Pathways to Spirit is starting in October. So we have some mediumship classes and then the 6-month program that's coming up here real soon. And all that's found at mediumsarahlemos.com.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Sarah, I'm so glad you finally got to get on here. I can't
Me
believe you've been
too.
dodging us for so long.
I wanted it so bad.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I just got super flattered.
Yeah.
Look, and now I'm doing stuff with my shoulders. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Everybody else. You can find us on monstersloungepodcast.com. You can find our merch, our email, and all of our episodes and junk. You should email us. We love hearing from people. So until next time, thanks for joining us on the Monsters Lounge.